All right, here we go. This is FM Talk 106.5, 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. I'm Wayne. That's Sean. Dr. Bill Williams will be along here in a few minutes. Look at our weekend. Gives it a 1.6180. The weekend weather scale, which is not too bad considering we're under a tropical storm watch.
But who isn't now?
Well, everybody from Destin to Grand Isle, Louisiana has got the same thing going on. More information on that on the way on FM Talk 106.5.
And turning up your voice this hour, the number 343-0106, 343-0106. Going to be a good morning to get in and chime in. Our guest in studio, Wade Perry from the AEA. Good morning.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
Good.
We're doing real good. And let's start off because there's so much to talk about this morning. But give us a little primer here. Tell us AEA, number one, from inception to what y'all do every day.
Well, the Alabama Education Association has about 100,000 members throughout the state of Alabama, and that includes college students studying to be teachers all the way up to education retirees. And our primary job is to represent them and to protect education funding, and that's what we do.
So the two prongs are, number one, the teachers and administrators, and also the students. So it's not a organization just for students.
That's right, and actually not just teachers and administrators. We also represent bus drivers and cafeteria workers and custodians, and I'm proud of that. You know, those folks make $11,000 or $12,000 or $13,000 a year, and their health insurance is important to them, and their retirement benefits are important to them, just like they are for you and for Wayne and for teachers and administrators and everybody else.
Wade, are you guys the biggest in the state?
By far.
Nobody's even close in second place in, right?
No.
As far as membership is concerned.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
And how organized would you say the AEA is? I mean, how much intercommunication from county to county, South Alabama to North Alabama, how organized is this group?
Well, it's pretty substantial, and that's one of the big differences between us and, say, the Business Council, who has maybe more money, but we're more organized because there's one of me for every 2,000 members across the state.
So it's by numbers, not by county?
That's right. I mean, in Mobile, we have 6,000 members.
Okay.
So there are three directors here, and our job is, number one, to help those folks with problems they may be having. If their paycheck gets lost or somehow gets cut wrong, we'll help them with that. Or if there are too many kids in a classroom and the principal doesn't want to readjust allocations, we'll work with that. But also it is to organize our members to be active in governmental affairs. For example, if there's a proposal out there to take some money out of Education Trust Fund, which would result in higher class sizes, fewer teachers equals higher class sizes, we'll have our members go up to Montgomery and sit down with their representatives and say, no, sir, or no, ma'am. One of our strongest suits is our retirees. Retired teachers go up and they'll sit down with Spencer Collier and say, now, I taught you in the third grade. Mm-hmm. Now, why is it that you want to give a tax break to this big company at the expense of the kids in our classroom?
Yeah, but this also, because what you said in the beginning, it's not just the kids in the classroom. It's at the expense of teachers, administrators, bus drivers, and cafeteria workers. So, often people get caught up, I think, and, the image is the AEA is just protecting students, but you're also protecting adults here. I mean, let's be frank about it, right?
There's absolutely no question. But, the thing is that teachers want better technology in the classroom and smaller class sizes as much as the parents do. So there are a lot of areas where we share the same goals with the general public.
You're a very powerful organization, and I don't think that always comes just with numbers. I know you're the biggest, but I think the power oftentimes comes from the organization, the management structure, the internal. I think that derives more power than just the fact that you've got more members than anyone else. Do you agree with that?
I do agree with that.
Tell us about it. Give us a quick rundown of the structure. I know you said you're one of three in Mobile County, so is it by county, and then do you report directly, or is there a sub leader, and then it goes to Montgomery, goes to Paul Hubbard? How does this work?
Well, actually, the goals of the organization are set by the membership. We have a representative assembly every December where 10,000 members who are elected by their local school, other members at their local schools, go up and have a convention and say, we want the organization to focus on class size. Or there's a budget surplus this year and we want some of that in a pay raise. or we want to focus on school bullying, or whatever it is. Actually, the rank and file membership sets our priorities. Then Dr. Hubbard would set a strategy for how to achieve those priorities, and then it would filter down to the local associations and the local counties.
And so there's at no point where the idea comes from Dr. Hubbard and filters down and everybody bounces it back up.
He is a master strategist, but ultimately only implementing the wishes of the membership.
The AEA is very politically active. Has it always been so?
Not always. I think since we've been effective, it's that way. And the reason that we have to be, I mean, people always say, well, why is Dr. Hubbard and the AEA always involved in politics? Shouldn't they be worried about the schools? Well, you know, the fact of the matter is that 60% of all education funding is set in Montgomery. Teacher salaries, insurance, retirement, class sizes, the employee allocations are all set by the legislature in Montgomery. They're all set by politicians. So we have to be active in politics in order to be effective advocates for our members and for public education.
Obviously, somebody's doing a pretty good job. I looked at some national figures yesterday in anticipation. You've been on the program this morning. If you want to look at just salaries, okay, salaries alone, Alabama's sort of mid-pack. You know, we get the reputation of always bringing up the rear in a lot of categories, but actually in salaries, I find Alabama to be pretty comfortably in the middle.
Well, in 2005, 2006, and maybe it was 04, 05, 06, when the budget was good, we were successful in getting some good pay raises for our folks, 5%, 6%, 7%, and that actually took us from down at the bottom to, again, about the middle of the pack. So we felt good about that. We feel like it's important to, just like any other business, to recruit and retain the best talent. You have to have competitive compensation.
Well, and that's going to beg another question, and and I'm sure people will ask this question when they call in this morning. But there's compensation mid-pack, but the performance of our students in Alabama is not mid-pack. I'd be happy with mid-pack right now. Every list you see comes out. We're below 50%. We're bringing up the rear of things. So I guess as a taxpayer in the state of Alabama, I question. All right, well, we're compensating our teachers, our administrators at mid-pack. Let's get some returns here on that. Let's get some returns at mid-pack.
And I think we are making some progress. You know, you've heard about the Alabama Reading Initiative and the Math and Science Training Initiative, AMSTI. Those are actually both programs that the AEA provided the pilot funding for. And you hear Governor Riley. I think if you go back and did a search on Governor Riley and education progress, he's constantly citing the gains that we're making in reading and math and science. And again, not all of those figures are necessarily representative of the teachers per se, but you know, a lack of support in the home. You know, sometimes folks treat public schools kind of like daycare. You know, just drop the kids off and
yeah, but that can happen in other states too, Wade. I mean, that's not a problem, you know, endemic to Alabama. That's a problem that would apply to Indiana or would apply to Washington State or apply to homes in the Northeast where their students do better on these tests. You know, I'm a big proponent. I'm a big fan of Alabama, and I hate seeing us on these lists, whatever it is that comes out, and we're not at the top of it. I mean, I'm be happy right now for mid-pack because mid-pack is on the way to the top. I mean, we're trying to bring businesses in here right and left into the state, and one of the things they're going to look at is the quality of the education here.
Absolutely, and again, I think you have to look at a lot of factors. I mean, when you look at education in, say, the Black Belt of Alabama, Dallas County, Lowndes County, places like that, they don't have anywhere near the local funding that you have in Mobile, or let alone Fairhope or Mountain Brook or Vestavia Hills or something like that. So we still have a lot of areas in the state that are economically challenged, truly depressed.
I want to ask you about the governor's race here in Alabama, going back to the primaries and the runoff. You ready for that?
Absolutely.
We'll do that next, okay?
This is FM Talk 106.5, turning up your voice at 343-0106. 343-0106. You can get on the line now. Line's open, 343-0106. Our guest, Wade Perry from the AEA.